您好，我是许佩文。许多女性在考虑进行 IVF 治疗的时候，都认为这取出的卵子数量是越多越好。但是质量跟数量之间究竟有没有一定的关联呢？而女性如果真的要考虑冻结卵子或者是胚胎的话，我们应该要冻上多少个，才算是帮自己的未来做好了保障呢？
So the number of eggs to freeze and embryos to freeze is going to be slightly different, and it's really going to vary by person. The idea is to give you the highest chance of being able to complete your family. So when we're freezing embryos, we know that depending on the quality of the embryos, depending on if the genetics, you really ideally want to have 1 to 2 embryos per intended pregnancy. So if someone wants a large family, then you want to have more embryos frozen. That is going to really be important in determining how many eggs to try to retrieve to then fertilize to become the embryos, because not every egg becomes a fertilized embryo and not every embryo is chromosomally normal.
So is there like an average number in terms of how many eggs can one cycle retrieve?
It depends a bit on the person, because when we try to determine that for every individual person, there are a couple things we can check. One of them is a blood test called an anti-Mullerian hormone level, and one is an ultrasound where we can count the number of potential eggs for that cycle. Those are going to be important in determining how many eggs would likely be able to be collected. And if it's going to be a smaller number than ideal, that means someone may have to go through multiple cycles to have the appropriate number. And when we do egg freezing, we know not every egg is going to be able to fertilize and become an embryo, so the number of eggs to freeze is generally much higher than the number you would need for embryos.
Like how many?
You know, again, the one other factor to consider is the age of the individual. You know, younger women have a higher percentage of good quality eggs than women that are in their late 30s or early 40s. So a young woman may have a smaller number of eggs of which we know would be very high quality, whereas someone who is in their mid to late 30s may need more eggs. The absolute number, again, it's hard to individualize, but on average for egg freezing, people, depending on age, somewhere between 15 or more eggs would be a good number to give you a high chance of having a pregnancy. But again, it's all very individual.
I mean, one of the questions that we would like to find out more is if I were, because I'm not, if I were 30, 31 years old, and I'm considering to do eggs freezing. How many eggs am I likely to retrieve? And how many cycles can I go through?
Yeah. Again, depending on the number of follicles seen on the ultrasound, it is possible at someone who's, say, 30, 31 years old may have a very large number of eggs to be retrieved in one cycle, potentially enough that they would be able to have a pregnancy. But oftentimes that's not the case. Many women have a lower number of eggs and need to go through multiple egg retrieval cycles, sometimes 2, sometimes 3, in order to have the number that they need to build their family.
很多生殖中心为了要提高取出卵子的数量，所以会过度的施打排卵针。这样的做法不仅可能取出许多空的卵泡，而且可能会对女性的身体造成永久性的伤害。所以，女性朋友可要千万记得重质不重量。会医祝您孕，祝您美运成真。我们下周再会。